Hello, my friends. How are you all doing out there? I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. For anybody that gets weekends off, it's Friday. In case you care about that, I don't care. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me, not even a little bit. Hey, I'm just out here trucking my life away. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just wasting my whole life driving down the damn road. But I'm fairly content. I'm fairly happy. I just dispatched myself for the second time. Got me a nice little beer run out of Denver. You know how it goes. But most of those were going west. And beer's heavy. And I didn't want to go west with a beer load. And I found one going out east. So super happy about that. We'll deliver that Monday morning. And that'll be that. So now I've got all the boring stuff out of the way. We can talk about the fun stuff today. That's what we're going to do. So I have been getting this question for years, and even more so now that I'm at Swift, because Swift is a training company, right? They train people to be truck drivers. So for years, people have been going, Josh, what is going on here? My hairline is jacked up. I'm just an ugly dude. That's what my problem is. Anyways, people have been asking me, like, for years, hey, Josh, like, would you train me? Like, if I go out there on the road and I ask to have you as a trainer, will you do that? And the answer to that question is no, I will not. But I will be glad to explain why I won't, because we might as well get a video out of it, right? I think it's cool. I think it's cool that people ask. You know, a lot of people are like, hey, you seem like a really cool guy. You know, I wouldn't mind being in the truck with you and you could train me how to drive. And that all sounds good on paper, because I am a really cool guy in YouTube videos. That's not to say that I'm different outside of YouTube videos, but what it is to say is that living with me is a whole other beast than watching one of my YouTube videos and then laughing about it, right? And having a good time. Actually living in a truck with me for 3 to 6 weeks. Fuck, I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't even know how I do it. I annoy the shit out of me. I am a very frustrating person to be around all the time. And then imagine that you're just learning to drive a truck and you think you're gonna ride with this really cool guy from YouTube, and you find out that he's just a grumpy old fuck that you don't really want to hang out with, and that would be heartbreaking, right? As they say, never meet your heroes, right? Yes, I'm everyone's hero. Of course I am. Of course I am. But they do say that. Never meet your heroes. Few people have met me, and a few of them straight up don't fucking like me anymore. That's just the way that goes. That's just the way that goes. So, anyways, thank you. I'm honored that you guys would think that I would be a good trainer for you. I really think that's very cool, but it wouldn't be as cool as you think it would be. I can promise you that. One of the things that would make it absolutely terrible is you guys know how proud I am of my emergency bucket, right? My emergency bucket. Now, don't get me wrong. I have not turned the inside of my truck into a bathroom, because that would be absolutely disgusting. I mean, I do have my fair share of piss bottles in the morning to throw out, right? Who wants to walk up to the truck stop? I'm getting older, guys. I gotta piss like 5 times a night, you know? Goddamn, I can't get up every time and go inside. So, you know, but what I'm trying to say is I haven't turned my truck into a bathroom, right? But I'm getting older, my friends. I'm getting older. And there used to be a time where I'd wake up in the morning going, oh God, I gotta go. And I could make that walk to the truck stop, right? And not these days, my friends. I wake up and it's bad like that. There's no stopping it, baby. It's happening. It's happening. All right? I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to tell you. I don't know why I gotta talk about my poop bucket all the time. It's just, it's become a part of my life. And since you guys watch me, it's now become a part of your life also. But I have a plan. I have a plan, my friends, to stop having to use the emergency bucket. And what that plan is I'm gonna switch my diet to 100% cheese. Just cheese for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. Just cheese all the time. And that's it. That's all I'm going to eat. Not only will I never have to use the emergency bucket again, I just won't be able to shit ever again. And the science checks out on that. I think it'll work. I think it'll work. But could you imagine, you know, like I was saying, I'm getting older, right? We got this old dog, right? She's a little fat fucker. She's a very happy fat bastard dog, and she's old as shit, right? But I don't know if she's like throwing a tantrum now because my wife kicked her out of the room. She said, I don't want the animals in my bedroom anymore. And the dog just pisses everywhere now. And the dog knows better than to piss everywhere. So I don't know if the dog's just throwing a tantrum, like I said, because other than that, she's her happy little fat fuck self, and she seems to do just fine. But I was reading some stuff about it, and they say when animals start to lose control of their bladder, it's probably time to put them down, which is sad to think about, because if she's just being an asshole, right, and pissing everywhere because she's mad, she's protesting, right, because she can't go in our bedroom anymore, and then we kill her, that would be kind of a dick move, right? That would be a really bad thing. But maybe she just is getting that old where it's time to put her down. And with that all said, it might be time to put me down too, is what I'm trying to fucking tell you. I might have reached the end, because some days I go, oh my God, fuck, here we go, and there's no stopping it. I don't have a choice. And if you're observant right now, we have made it 6 minutes into a video of me just talking about shitting myself. That's a real skill right there. That's a real fucking talent, because people are still watching. Yeah, they're still watching. Let me know if you're watching after the 6 minute mark. I bet you are. I bet you are. But could you imagine how awkward it would be? We're driving down the road, right? Like if you're driving, I mean, I guess I could close these curtains back here and handle my business. That sounds uncomfortable for everyone involved, right? Don't hit a bump and tip me over on my bucket, because I'm going to be real fucking grumpy then if I fall over. That's going to make me real mad. But let's say I'm driving, right? And I'm driving down the road and you're asking me questions. We're having a conversation, and all of a sudden I go, oh, fuck! Oh, it's happening. And I go and I hit the shoulder. Now I'm starting to understand why so many people are always parked on the shoulder. They're shitting themselves. But I hit the shoulder, and I throw my trash bag into the bucket, right? And I throw my pants around my ankles, and you're sitting in the passenger seat watching in horror as this happens. And I sit down on my bucket and just let it fly, right? Because I can't stop it. And I'm sitting there on my bucket while you're in the passenger seat going, oh my God, what have I done? All the choices in your life led up to you being trapped inside of a truck while a middle-aged trucker shits all over the place, and I'm making eye contact with you going, I'm so sorry this is happening. And then you're going to be really mad. You're going to not be happy with being in the truck with me. That's reason number one. Yeah, it took us nearly 8 minutes to get through reason one of why you wouldn't want to be a trucker with me, right? Now, we'll do a little more serious one right now. A thing I've noticed about trucking that doesn't really go well with me, it doesn't really fit my personality. There's a lot of fucking lollygaggers out here, right? You ever seen these motherfuckers try to walk across the truck stop parking lot? They don't even know what goddamn planet they're on. They're just wandering around. Is meandering a word? If I said they were meandering, would I be using that word correctly? I don't know. I'm just making shit up as I go. I'm going to look that word up after this. And it might mean something completely different. And then I'm going to feel weird. What if it's like some racist shit and I didn't even know that? And I'm on here just spouting off racism and I didn't even know. I don't know what that word means, and I shouldn't have said it, is the fucking point. But anyways, I can't fucking stand slow moving people, right? And that's not to say that all of you are gonna come train with me and then you're gonna be a fucking little space cadet walking around like you don't know what the fuck's going on, but you might be, and then I won't like you. And that's the real tragic part of this story, because if you're like a slow walker, or you're like you have no time management skills, right? Like, I'm slow to wake up these days. It used to be, guys, 10 years ago, I would, my alarm would go off and I'd roll out of bed and I'd spring into action, right? Linwood, remember my old trainee Linwood from years ago, for anybody that was around then? He was always so impressed. He would call people and tell them, this dude's alarm goes off, he fucking rolls out of bed, he's ready to fucking rock. He's ready to get shit done. I ain't like that anymore. It takes me a good hour to get ready to even move this truck. That's between shitting myself and trying to wake up and all the things that are going on in this old man body that I am stuck in now. But still, like, I don't mean to be like that hard ass old trucker. When it's time to work, son, it's time to work. But it is, right? And time is money out here. And with a lot of new truckers, obviously they're confused. They just stepped into a lifestyle that they're not fucking used to. They don't understand what's going on, and they just fucking lollygag, right? And just walk around confused. Now, a lot of people think that I only trained like a couple people, and then the trainee story, you know, the infamous trainee story, like scared me from training again, and I never trained after that. As a matter of fact, I did train after that. Just one guy. I was like, I'm going to give it another shot. And this guy, he was very young, like 23 years old, and smelled like fucking sweaty feet. Like it was so bad. I would take that man to a Love's daily and cover his shower and say, go in there and get a shower. And he never came out smelling any fucking better. It was just fucking awful. But the guy had no goddamn interest in being a trucker at all. He would sleep in the passenger seat all day. And when it was time to like, okay, we're going to go in and get a shower or whatever we're going to do. I mean, it'd take him a half hour to walk up to the goddamn truck stop, right? I wanted to train the guy, but I really had no fucking patience for him. He was the one immediately after the nightmare trainee that I had. But this guy never looked in his mirrors ever when he was driving the truck, and he had a really bad habit of wandering onto the shoulder, like way out there, not like hitting the rumble strip and be like, oh fuck, because that happens, right? Don't matter who you are, that happens. But he would go way the fuck off the shoulder, like, oh my God, to the point where I would tell him like, hey, look, you hit that shoulder 3 times today, I'm going to give you 3 strikes, you're out, we're pulling over the truck. Well, I think would do it on purpose because he didn't want to drive the fucking truck. He didn't want to. We'd be 10 minutes into the day and we're already switching out because I'm like, you can't keep the fucking thing on the road. You can't drive. And the point I'm trying to make with all that is, like, sure, maybe you have fun watching my videos, right? But then when I'm the guy that's got to teach you to drive a truck, and this is my truck, goddammit, so you're out there being a goddamn menace out there on the road, we're not going to get along very well. You know, and if you're a good trainee, I'm still not going to train you. Fuck, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You know, I've trained a lot of people in local stuff when I was doing oil field, water, and sand. I was a supervisor on our crew, so I was training people all the time. The oil field people weren't like the worst ever, but I was doing a trash truck for a while, one of those front load trash trucks. Those are kind of fun to drive. They're like playing like one of those claw machines, right? Except sometimes you pick up a homeless person that's sleeping in the dumpster, and nobody wants that, right? But I had this one guy that was just the worst fucking ever. Like, this guy had to eat like constantly, right? And the way that trash company worked is they paid you 8 hours for the day. You go up in there, the clock starts, and they pay you 8 hours. Didn't matter how long it took you. Took you 14 hours, well, you got paid for 8. On the flip side, it took you 4 hours, you got paid for 8. So I got real good at my route, right? Like, and it would take me 3-4 hours. I'm done. Truck's back in the yard, ready for another day. It was like having a part-time job, and I was getting paid full-time to do it. It was fantastic. Except it was trash, so it was fucking disgusting, and it really didn't pay that well. It was like 16 an hour, I think. Even at an 8-hour day, that's not really paying the fucking bills. This was quite a few years ago, so maybe it's different now. But this guy constantly wanted me to stop and eat. Like, he never drove the truck because he never wanted to. I'd be like, are you ready to come drive? I'll be right over here. I'll tell you how to work these controls and everything. And he'd be like, nope, just not ready. But he always wanted to stop and eat, right? One day, I was a cigarette smoker then. So I went up to this gas station. I said, I need some cigarettes. I'm going to go in and buy some. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm hungry. I'm going to go grab something to eat. I said, okay, make it quick. Go grab you something to eat. I'll see you back in this truck 5 minutes. It don't take longer than 5 minutes to go buy some goddamn food, right? So I'm out in the truck smoking my cigarette, waiting for him to come back. Half hour later, this son of a bitch he brings out a whole Subway sandwich. He went and waited in line at Subway. Look, I understand people got to eat, but this guy always wanted to stop to eat. And he had no sense of urgency whatsoever. None. Absolutely none. Yeah, like half hour later, he comes out with a Subway sandwich. I remember one day he was asking me, can we go to Home Depot? I said, Home Depot? No, you can go to Home Depot after work. What are you talking about? And he said, well, they got the hot dog cart out front, and they sell hot dogs there. So I was just kind of wondering if we could swing by Home Depot. And I said, absolutely not. We got to finish this up. I'm ready to go home. And this guy, he was older than me, and he literally sat in the passenger seat of my truck pouting all day because I wouldn't take him to get a hot dog at Home Depot. He was very, very upset about it. But I'm very much in the mindset of when it's time to work, like it's time to work. Get all your shit in order before that. When I trained Linwood, it took me one time, right? Because I would tell Linwood, we're rolling out at 3 in the morning, right? Well, I'm up, I'm ready to go. It's about 3:15, 3:20. I'm like, where the fuck is Linwood at? And he comes walking over with his coffee. Go, by all means, go get your coffee. Get everything you need in the morning. I don't care. But I said, Linwood, when I say we're rolling at 3, baby, I don't mean 3:15. I don't mean 3:20. We roll at 3. You understand? And Linwood said, I do understand. And then Linwood was super cool because he was, all right, I'm ready to roll at 3. Then he was in the truck stop at 2:30 getting everything he needed and ready to go. Linwood was an excellent trainee. I don't know whatever happened to him, but he was a really, really good trainee. But the point is, I don't like dealing with people that don't know how to manage time and don't act like time matters, because time's the biggest thing that fucking matters out here. And then there was one other thing I wanted to touch on. Oh, guys, heaven help me. I deal with some of the most ridiculous stuff here on YouTube. Hold on. It's very hot in here. I got the auto start stop turned on it because I got my little battery backup from home, so my inverter isn't going to kick all my shit off now when I use the auto start stop, and that makes me a very happy boy. All right, anyways, here's a question I get sometimes, and I'm very disappointed in some of you for even daring to ask this question, but here goes, right? But Josh, what if a hot girl was asking you to train her? Oh, knock it off. There's no hot girls in trucking. I'm kidding. I'm fucking playing. There's hot girls in trucking. I'm joking. Jesus Christ. Nobody get too upset about that. But that is literally the worst thing you horny bastards could come up with. Don't ask me if I would train a hot girl because she's a hot girl. That is fucking silly. Think about what you're saying, all right? Think about what you're saying. What you're saying is, Josh, I am so desperate to get laid, no one will do it, and my only hope is to lock a cute girl in my truck for 3 to 6 weeks till she feels like she has no other options, and then she just might fuck me. That is absurd. There is no circumstance ever in the world where I would go out of my way to train a hot girl just because she's a hot girl. That would be really, really a fucking stupid thing to do. A really dumb thing to do. And I don't think a lot of guys think past their dick sometimes. Like, I mean, I've been guilty of it myself in my day. I understand. I get it. But when it comes to this, there was a thing, I don't remember the name of the people involved, but it was on YouTube a few years ago, let's say. Even if I did remember their names, I'm not going to put it out there because hopefully they were able to put it all past them and move on with their lives. But I am going to tell the story as far as I understood it. This guy was like a trainer for Prime, I think. And he had a YouTube channel, and then he was taking on a trainee, and she also had a YouTube channel, right? And they were training together, and I don't know if they had started a little bit of a relationship before that, or if it started happening in the truck while they were training together. But this relationship thing happened, and I think at least one of them was married. It was like a whole fucking thing, right? And then all of it ended up spilling onto YouTube, right? Which you don't want. You don't want any of that to happen. And they ended up getting over to Prime, and I think the guy actually quit at Prime. I think they asked him to resign. I don't remember for sure, because now all of a sudden Prime's got this public image of like, hey, if you go out with our trainer and you're a girl, he might try to fuck you, right? So it was like kind of a big deal, and I think that the dude was forced to leave Prime, if I remember correctly. And the girl, maybe she's still out there driving. I don't really fucking know. But the idea that you would train someone in hopes of having some sort of sexual relationship with them. Look, guys, sometimes I'm a huge dirtbag, right? I'm not saying that I am morally superior to anyone, but that right there is a line you do not want to cross. All the bad shit that could come out of that. I mean, my God, there could be false allegations. Maybe girl gets mad. I mean, I'm not saying that women make up allegations. I'm not saying that is like they all do, but it's been known to happen, right? So something goes wrong and there could be a lot of shit said that never happened. That's possible. Then you're defending yourself in court. Holy fucking shit. That's fucking terrifying. Your wife could find out. That's kind of a big deal, right? That's not a good one at all. Geez, what else? I mean, I don't know that it'd necessarily be like career suicide or anything like that, but if I'm giving my honest answer, and I know when you guys say that you're probably just joking with me, but why can't I make the jokes also, right? It's almost fucking creepy that like crosses people's minds. Yes, as men, we generally love women, right? Have you seen them? Holy shit, they're really, really sexy women, right? And sometimes our mind goes to places that it probably shouldn't, or should, depending on how the other party feels about it. I don't know. I'm not here to fucking tell you how to live your life, but if somebody was seriously asking that question, it sounds a little bit fucking creepy. To be like, oh, I can't wait to train so I can get a girl alone in my truck. And no, guys, the answer is no. And I think we need more women in this industry too. I do, because it adds diversity. It adds a different point of view, right? And if I actually wouldn't mind talking to someone that like was maybe afraid of that, and that's why they stay out of trucking, right? Like they're afraid to get out on the road and train with an over-the-road trainer because they're concerned that some crazy shit like that could possibly happen. I don't fucking know, but I just to wrap that up, it's not the way, guys. It's not the fucking way. You don't want to be a weirdo out here. There's plenty of fucking weirdos out here. You don't want to be one of them, all right? Like I said, I understand when people ask me that. They're probably just fucking around. It's not a huge deal or anything. But that would be just overall just a terrible, terrible decision for anyone to make. Now, if, you know, you're already a trucker and your wife and your girlfriend decide she wants to be a trucker and you work at one of those training companies, so you're going to be her trainer, more power to you. Have all the fucking fun you want. It's not creepy at that point. It's not fucking weird. Yeah, and just I don't think I can get on board with that. But anyways, I guess just to wrap it all up, I don't want to never say never. I mean, there may be something come up where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll train this person. I've said a lot of things, and then life happens, and then I'm like, oh, fuck, I guess I'm doing that now. But overall, I don't have any desire to train somebody inside my truck living with me again. A lot of the reason, too, is I just basically live my own life out here. The whole top bunk, for the most part, is full of all my stuff. I got a big bag of clothes here. I don't even know what's in this bag yet. I haven't emptied it out yet. I got a bag full of other bags. If it's time to quit, you need to be able to pack all your shit up, right? So if I were to put someone in here, fuck, I would have to like rearrange my entire system, and I don't even know how I would do that, if I'm being honest. There's just too much stuff up there for me to ever do that, you know. And I play my PlayStation maybe too late sometimes. Like, you're up there trying to get some sleep and I'm down here fucking playing Madden or something. Like, that's gonna be frustrating. And I just very much live my own life on the road now, and I would feel very uncomfortable having someone live in my truck with me and be in here all the time. It used to not bother me. It used to be a thing I could do, but I have accumulated so much stuff in the years that I've been trucking now that I keep with me in the truck that there's just simply not fucking room to put another person in here and have both of us try to live comfortably. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. We'd be moving shit around at the end of the day. We'd have to put it all back to start the next day. It just would be a very, very uncomfortable thing. And so what I'm saying is, to everybody that asks me if I could be your trainer, I don't hate you. I don't even dislike you. but I got no goddamn interest in having anybody else in my truck. Back to the hot girl thing. I mean, I've had hot girls ride around with me on the road. Well, you know, a couple, and you know, they can be real hot, right? But when you live in this small of a space with anyone for an extended period of time, everybody, it no matter how hot they are, will get on your fucking nerves, right? And it has nothing to do with them as a person, but it has everything to do with this small space, sometimes the tight schedules, sometimes you're not able to stop and, you know, get a shower right when you want to, or maybe you're hungry but you got to keep rolling and all these things. And living in this small space with anyone, it's not for me, baby. I can't do it. Anyways, I think that covers why I won't be a trainer. I hope it does, because I'm done talking. Bye now.